company, the word particular company, if in the layman language, it is means the group of people, association of the people who get together for the purpose of doing a business, for the purpose of doing the business and for getting a profit. This is a particular, in the layman language, or we can say in very easy language, we are saying this is the meaning of the company. And the second aspect, which we also have to say, that after the passing of the Companies Act 2013, the new concept of the company is also arises, in which they says the group of the people, the group of the person, they join together and not for the purpose of doing the business, but for the purpose of promoting art, culture, and science. Here we have to conclude it that the companies are established, or the companies are formed not only for the purpose of earning the profit, but now after the passing of the Companies Act 2013, now the companies are also, the company's main purpose is also to promote art, science and culture activities also. This is one aspect. Second aspect is that the company we know, but that company is recognized in law or not. How we came to know about it? The company which is incorporated under, the company which is registered under the Companies Act 2013, that company is, we can say, it is a legal company. The company which is registered under the Companies Act, that company is incorporated company, that company is a limited company. Once the company is registered under Act of 2013, when the company is registered under 2000 Act, it becomes an artificial person. The company becomes an artificial person. What is the meaning of artificial person? The artificial meaning of the artificial person means the person in the eye of the law. You and me, when we are in our mother's womb, if you see, you have read the jurisprudence. In jurisprudence, they have given you the word person and personality. Your personality arises from the day when you are in your mother's womb. Even if you have read the IPC also, in the IPC they give you the protection. The person has been, or the fetus has been protected in the mother wombs. So your personality arises from the day you are in alive or in mother's womb, either in the form of fetus or either in the form of the baby. So your personality, what is the meaning of the personality? Here does not mean the personality doesn't mean that the way you are wearing, the way you are looking. No, it's not deal with anything. The personality in the legal system, it means your identity, your legal rights which are provided by the law. And your legal rights arises from the day when you are in your mother's womb. And till the death of yours, till the death of your last breath, till the day of your death, your personality, your legal rights will be protected by the law. You get a honorable burial. If you are a Hindu, so आपको जो है जिस तरीके से एक हिंदू रिचुअल्स में परफॉर्म किया जाता है डेथ सेरेमनीज को, they will be do. If you are from the Mohammedan or from the Parsi or you are Christian, the way they buried their dead bodies, so the respect will be given to you. This is the personality. This is the legal personality, legal identity. So your legal identity arises from the day you are in mother womb. Arises. Your legal personality, your legal right arises till your death, even after the death. The honorable burial should be given to you. This is your right. No one disturb your burial. This is your right. किसी का कोई राइट नहीं है कि अगर जिस तरीके से आपको एक बरियर दे दी गई है, आपको अगर दफना दिया गया है, तो उसको दोबारा से आपके बरियर को छेड़ा नहीं जाएगा. So this is the thing, this is the legal right given by the law. But company को, the company which is the group of the people, उनको एक legal identity कब मिलती है? They get a legal identity when they are registered under the Companies Act. जब वो रजिस्टर्ड हो जाते हैं कंपनी के एक्ट के अंदर, then they consider to be a legal identity. Now the question is, what is the benefit of to become a legal identity? Legal person, artificial person. So the benefit is that once the company is incorporated, it is a individual person. The person means artificial person in the eye of the law, though it is not a person, but we consider it to be a person. We consider the company to be a person in the eye of the law for the purpose, and this incorporation of the company gives a right. Yes, you can sue and be sued by the company. That is the when the company is incorporated, it becomes a legal person, and when it is a legal person, then all the rights which is provided by the law will be given to the company. The company can purchase the property in its own name. The company can sue or be sued by any person, and the company's property is different from their shareholders. Company's liability is different from their shareholders. Company rights are different from their shareholders or the members, from their directors. Company is the individual person. Company can do the business in its own name. The company can purchase the property in its own name. The company can sue a third person in its own name, and the outsider from the company can the outsider from the company can sue a company in the name of the company. So against a company. So we can say this legal identity gives a very much advantage to the company. The incorporation of the company gives a very good, we can say a very beneficial for the company. And very important thing is that the liability of the company will not expand to the liability of the shareholders or the members. Members are only liable up to their shares. Members are, or the shareholders are liable up to their shares. The liability of the company is limited one. When you have written private limited, this is means the members who having the shares, the shareholders who having the shares in the company, their liability is limited. Limited to which? Limited to what? Limited to their shares. Example, if they have purchased the share of 10 rupees, then their liabilities is only of 10 rupees. So the liabilities further is divided. The liability by the share, the liability by the guarantee. Liability by the share and liability by the guarantee. When the shareholders purchase the property, when the shareholders purchase the shares, their liability is limited to that shares. That is limited by share. Liability is limited by share. So, and the second thing is liability limited to guarantee. Some shareholders or members, they give the guarantee. They give guarantee to the company that at the time of the winding up of the company, when the company is going to be dissolved, this much amount or this much financial help they will provide it to the company. This is the two things: the limited by the shares and liability by the shares and liability by the guarantee. Then again further we discuss the shares. The shares are fully paid shares and unpaid shares liability. When you are fully paid the shares, when it means you have purchased, you hold a share of 10 rupees, but you have given 5 rupees to the company, but still 5 rupees are pending. You purchase a share of 10 rupees, 5 rupees you already pay, and 5 rupees you have to be paid. But in future, if some kind of liability arises in the company or some issues are arising relating to financial matter, then the company can compel you, force you to pay the 5 rupees, which you have to be given in the future. So this is unpaid shares. Your liability or the liability of unpaid shares. Then the fully paid shares. Fully paid share here means if you holding a share of 10 rupees, you have given the full amount, which is 10 rupees to the company. So your liability is just of 10 rupees. You have not to give anything else to the company. So this is basically, we can say, the liability of the if we incorporated the company under the Company Act, the liability of the company, the liability of the shareholders, the liability of the members, they limited up to the shares they have in the company. उतना ही रह जाता है जितना उनका शेयर होता है. And very important thing is that they are not personally liable. Yes, of course, I can repeat unpaid shares. See, unpaid share here means, paid share means you have given in very simple language, we can say paid share means you are purchasing this share in particular amount. You have fully paid the amount. 10 रुपए का शेयर था, आपने उसको 10 रुपए में ही खरीद लिया, आपको एक्स्ट्रा कुछ भी नहीं देना है. This is the paid share. Unpaid share means जिसमें आपने 10 रुपीज का शेयर you want to purchase, you hold it. आपने उसको होल्ड कर लिया है. 5 रुपीज जो है, half the amount you have given, half the amount you will be given, want to give in the future. But due to some consequences, the company want that the remaining amount which you want to give, you should give. So उस सिचुएशन में कंपनी आपको जो आपने 5 रुपए देने हैं, 5 rupees which you have to be given in the future, जो देने हैं आपको, you have to be give to the company when the company is demanded. So this is the paid and unpaid share. So that is the benefit of the we can say that is incorporated under the Companies Act. First thing. Second thing is this incorporation has give the company to write a separate legal identity. This is very important word. Why I am focusing again in this is because the separate legal identity of the company, the most of your cases are dealing with this. Within most probably next week we will do the casement also. So in the casement we will see the cases which are relating to the separate legal identity. So if you have any question regarding or any doubt about relating to the separate legal identity of the company, you can please text me, so that for moving further I must clear on this point. If I am repeating again, if anybody having any doubt relating to the legal identity, separate legal identity of the company, then they can text me. Shall I move further? Okay. So the thing is that now this is the company, this is the formation of the company, and formation of the company, then we have read the section 4. Section 4 is very important in this matter. If you see, if you open your BEAR Act also, you will see the section 4. Section 4 is very important. Section 3 is discussed about the formation of the company. Once the company is formed, you have to incorporate the company. You have to incorporate the companies in the Companies Act. In the Company Act, then we have to discuss the advantages of incorporation, and then incorporation give the company a legal identity. These 4 topics, these 4 main contents we have already discussed. Now the important one is section 4. Yesterday we have also deal with this section 4 also. So basically the section 4 is discussed about the memorandum of association, memorandum of the company. What is the memorandum of the company? So now we have to read, we have to discuss, we have to be focused that what is the importance of this memorandum, what is this memorandum it is. So once you have decided to establish a company, then every company have to draft a memorandum. It's a document. It's a written document which is drafted by the company, and this memorandum of association has contained the object and the purpose for which the company is formed. It mentioned the object and the formation for the which the company is formed. Memorandum of association, it also discussed the scopes and operation which the company will take in the future. The scope of the company, the operation, the actions which the company will take, it will discuss in the memorandum of association. And along with this, in memorandum of association, the powers of the companies were also discussed in memorandum of associations. And it is very important to know that if any act of the company, or if any act done by the company beyond the memorandum of association, that would be considered as ultra virus, that is considered to be a void. So whatever the act is done by the company, that act should be within the scope of memorandum of association, that is MOA. So I'm again repeating the object of the company, why the company is formed, why the company is established, what is the scope of the company, what the activities will the company will do in the future, or how to it proceed, how the work of the company will be done. All the things, the power of the companies, all are mentioned under the memorandum of association, and the company will not go beyond this memorandum of association. If the companies go beyond the MOA, the act of the company will be considered to be a void and ultra virus. Now the next thing is, when the company is going for the purpose of incorporation, then what is the use of this document? How important this MOA is at the time of incorporation of the company? And this is very important to know that when the company is established, it is a duty of those persons, or duty of the directors, or the duties of the members, that they have to file the memorandum of association before the registrar at the time of incorporation of the company. Memorandum of association is one of the document which has to be filed with the registrar of the companies at the time of incorporation of the company. So the memorandum of association of a company contains the fundamental conditions upon which alone the company has been incorporated. So the memorandum of association is the document which has to be registered, which has to be produced before the registrar of the company, which has to be produced before the registrar at the time of the incorporation of the company, and the fundamental conditions of the company. The fundamental conditions of the companies has been provided under the MOA. So this is we can say this is very important document if somebody want to incorporate that particular company in the Companies Act. Then another importance of this MOA is that the day-to-day affair, that not day-to-day but the most important is the affairs of the companies are described under the MOA. The companies, and it is a document which set out the constitution of the company, that it's tell about the constitution of the company, and in this way we can also say the MOA is a preamble of the company. You can also say the MOA is the preamble of the company, and the structure of the company is discussed in the MOA, and all the powers, all the objects, all the exercise, all the powers, all the exercises, and all the objects of the company, they have to be expressly mentioned in the memorandum. See, I'm giving emphasis on the expressly. Here means the object, the company the purpose behind the formation of the company, the day-to-day affairs the company which will do, or the procedure, the procedure which the company will follow at the time of doing their work, and the powers which the company will give to the directors, or the powers which are given to their members, or the power which the company itself use. All these things should be in written form. This should be in the written form, and that all the provisions, all the written forms which are mentioned in the memorandum of company, it is a duty of the company that they have to be act according to the MOA. It is an obligation. It is an obligation on the company that whatever they have written in the MOA, they have to be act according to the MOA. They cannot go beyond the MOA. If they go beyond the MOA, the act of the company will be declared as an void. So this is the document. This is the document which joins the company, which makes a relation of the company with the outside world. This is the document. This is the document. This is the public document. This is the public document. This is the document which is produced to the public. It is openly produced to the public when the people are going to purchase the share of any particular company. It is provided to those people that they can see the MOA of the company, so that they know, so that they can able to know where they are going to invest their money. उनको पता होना चाहिए कि वो अपनी मनी जो है कहाँ इन्वेस्ट करने जा रहे हैं. Either they are investing the money in the sector which are profitable or not, or they are going to be invest their money in the company which is legally established, or they are legally established, or the purpose of the company is illegal or legal. So once if the behind this is, if it is a duty of, it is again the obligation on the purchaser of the shareholders, those who are going to purchase the share of the particular company. It is a duty of them also that they must, before purchasing the share, they must read out the MOA of the company. They should not be ignorant. They cannot take the plea, that they cannot say the plea while after purchasing the share. They cannot take the plea, or they cannot take the company to the court, and they cannot take a plea that they are ignorant. They have not read the MOA at the time of purchasing the share. So it is their duty that whenever they are going to purchase any share, that they must read the MOA. The memorandum of association must be read by the shareholders, and MOA is the public document. It is open to the public. Once the public want to be invest in the company, they can read the provisions of the MOA, and according to the provisions they can invest in the company. So this is the document which is the public document, and this document makes a relation between a company and the person who are outside from the company. Then the next one is, the next question it's raised is, can we alter the memorandum of association? Can we alter the memorandum of association? Yes, the time to time, though it is the object, though the object of the company is mentioned in it, but as the time passes, some new things, new provisions can be added in the MOA also. But the important thing is, the alteration is just for the purpose for enhancing the business, or for the purpose of providing the profit to the shareholders. The alteration should not be allowed in the case where the alteration's main purpose is to defraud someone, to defraud the shareholders only for the purpose of collecting money. So the alteration of memorandum is allowed, time to time allowed by special resolution it can be done, but in the case of where the alteration is done just for the purpose of collecting the money, plus in that situation is not allowed. Okay, this much is okay to you? Are you able to understand or not? Please respond.
Yes, ma'am.
No need to be open your audio. You can text me. Okay, thank you. So, this is the memorandum of association. So, you can say, we can say that memorandum of association is a public document. It is the preamble of any company. It is a charter of the company, which not only tells about the object of the company, but it gives the power. The powers which are given to the companies are mentioned in MOA, and the restriction imposed on the powers is also mentioned in the MOA. So the company directors, company's members, they cannot extend their powers beyond the MOA. They cannot go beyond. They cannot misuse their powers. Once they misuse their power, the company will not be responsible. Then in that situation, if they go beyond the MOA, they do something wrong, then in that case, the company is not liable, they are liable personally. So then we cannot say the company is liable for doing any act, the company is liable. For doing any company act, the company is itself liable. In this situation, if directors go beyond the MOA, then the director will be personally liable, and most probably their personal assets will also be liable. So this is again a very important thing. First important thing which we have said, the company is a legal identity, and the second very important thing is what would be the consequences if the directors or memorandum, if the directors or the members, they go use the power beyond the MOA. What is the effect? What is the effect if they do some activity, or if they do some act beyond the power which is given under the MOA? This is one thing. And third thing is, if some act is done beyond the MOA, what will be the consequences? The company will be liable, or the director or the member who go beyond the MOA, who misuse the power, that particular member or the particular directors personally liable, his property, his assets will be liable or not. Then we have discussed, the next step we have to discuss that the memorandum is not just only important for the incorporation of the company. The other purpose of MOA is that it tells the investors, shareholders, to know about the capital the companies have. It tells about the capital they have, and it also tell the shareholders or the people who are going to be invest in the company, that if they put their money in that particular company, what would be the risk? What would be the risk will be suffered by them in the future. So we can say that the purpose of memorandum is just not limited to the registration of the company. It is not limited to the registration of company, but it also extended for the benefits of the shareholders also. First, and the second thing is, it is again, the memorandum of association is again important for the purpose of creditors. The creditors who are going to give the loan to the company, So they can know that in the future this company will be grow or not. They should give loan to that particular company or not. The loan which they have given to the company, that particular loan will be come back to them or not. So the memorandum of association is deal with both the person, deal with the shareholders, those who are going to invest in the money for purpose of sharing the profit of the company, and for the creditors who have given the loan to the company, and those who want the loan to be back. So this is the, we can say this is the main purpose of the memorandum. And the next important thing is that which is very, we can say this is the when we are drafting the memorandum of association, it is very important that it should be printed. It should not be in handwritten. The draft of the MOA, it should be printed and it should be signed by each subscriber. Each the members who have the founding members of the company, they must sign the MOA, and the MOA should be in the written form, and it is not in the handwritten, but it should be present in the printed form. If the name of the members must be mentioned in MOA. Name of the members must be mentioned in the MOA. If it is a public company, at least 7 persons name must be mentioned in it. If it is a private company, 2 persons name must be mentioned in it. And if it is one person company, the person who is the main director of that particular company, that must be mentioned in the MOA. Yesterday, I discussed with you also that just the company, the public company is there, private company is there, and the third form of company is one person company. One person company is the main feature of the Companies Act 2013. After the amendment has been done under this act, this particular concept has been added. One person company, and the formation of one person company means the one person can form the company also, and the requirement of this is that that particular person who is going to be formed a one person company, that person must mention the name of the nominee. This is the requirement. If you are going to open a public company, the 7 person is there. There is no need to mention the nominee's name. If you are going to be open a private company, you at least 2 person is required there. You no need to give the name of the nominees. But when you are going to open a one person company, then in that situation you have to give the name of yourself also, and you have to give the name of the nominee also. So the memorandum should be printed and it should be in paragraphs, and properly numbering should be given to paras. If it is in paragraphs or it is in the subheading, subparagraphs, each should be properly done. So we can say that is basically the formation. While drafting the MOA, these things should be kept in the mind. And the contents, next is the contents which we should be add in the memorandum, and the first thing is that is should be add in the memorandum. Sachin?
Yes, ma'am.
Sachin Kumar Bhardwaj, हाँ जी, क्यों ऑडियो क्यों हुआ, ओपन किया?
मैम सॉरी, गलती से हो गया,
बंद करो उसे. So the content of the memorandum, आपको मेमोरेंडम के अंदर क्या कंटेंट डालना है, दिस इज इलेबोरेटली डिस्कस अंडर सेक्शन 4. सेक्शन 4 में जो है दे हैव डिस्कस द कंटेंट्स ऑफ द मेमोरेंडम व्हिच वी ऑलरेडी डिस्कस्ड yesterday. We have already discussed yesterday, but briefly I will read out now today. So the first content which we have to write in the MOA is the name of the company. The name of the company the name of the company must be mentioned in the memorandum. If it is a private limited company, it must mention the private limited company. If it is a one-person company, then in that situation, one must mention it is in the bracket that is a one-person company. And the object, and if it is limited by share, the company, the liabilities of the member is limited by the shares or by the guarantee. This should also be mentioned in the MOA. And again, there is a name clause is there. That is the name of the company, the name which you are going to choose, that should not be identical with anybody. So we can say it is a matter of trademark also. तो जैसे कि हम ट्रेडमार्क में बोलते हैं कि when you are going to establish any company or you are going to do any business, the name of the business or the name of the company, it should not be identical with the company who is already running. So you must give the name to the company which is not identical, which is not affected by, which is not violate the trademark rules. And the important thing is also you should not give the name to the company which is not allowed by the center government. If any kind of restrictions has been put by the center government, in that situation you should not give any kind of name to the company. Okay, 2-minute breaks I'm going to be take, and I'm going to take your questions here. So if someone has or somebody have any doubt, they can please text me, or they can open their audio also. Just 2 minutes I'm going to give you. If you have anybody have any problem, they can open their audio, they can directly ask the question to me, and if they don't have, after 2 minutes I will start the lecture again.
Ma'am, can I speak?
Yes, you can.
Ma'am, अभी जो आपने बोला that these two companies should not have the similar name. So does that mean कि उनका object same होगा तब उनका similar नाम नहीं हो सकता है? किसी भी दो companies का similar नाम नहीं हो सकता?
See, have you read about the trademark?
Ma'am, a little.
ठीक है, अगर मैं एक कोई एग्जांपल के लिए कोई शू कंपनी स्टार्ट करना चाहती हूँ, ठीक है, एंड यू हैव सीन अबाउट नाइकी शूज, यू हैव सीन, ठीक है, नाइकी का जो है एक ब्रांड है, नाइकी इज अ ब्रांड, एडिडास इज अ ब्रांड इन द शूज फैक्ट्री, और उनका अपना एक लोगो है, उनका अपना एक चिन्ह है. If I use that logo or use the same name of the Nike, it somehow give the impression to the customers that Nike is having some other branch also. तो वो कहीं ना कहीं कस्टमर्स को ये इंप्रेशन देगा कि नाइकी का एक अदर ब्रांच भी है जो नीतू रन कर रही है. तो दिस इज अ फ्रॉड. कहीं ना कहीं ये एक फ्रॉड कमिट किया जाएगा, not against the consumer also, but against the company also. So in the situation when you are going to do any kind of business, you can do identical business, it's not an issue, लेकिन you should not use the same name. अगर आपने कभी सुना हो तो the situation is there when the member leaves the company, कोई member जो है अपनी कंपनी छोड़ के जाता है, then the agreement has to be signed by that particular member that in that region, तो उस रीजन के अंदर या उस एरिया के अंदर वो सेम कंपनी सेम प्रोडक्ट से रिलेटेड वो नहीं करेगा. तो आप ये कह सकते हैं कि मैडम कहीं ना कहीं इसका कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल राइट वायलेट हो रहा है. सेक्शन 19G के अंदर, आर्टिकल 19G जो है इसका वायलेट हो रहा है. दैट इज गिवन द फ्रीडम ऑफ डूइंग ऑक्यूपेशन, लेकिन नहीं, दैट इज फॉर द पर्पस ऑफ बेनिफिट ऑफ द कंपनी. वो जो रिस्ट्रिक्शन इम्पोज की जा रही है वो कहीं ना कहीं जो है कंज्यूमर्स के लिए, कस्टमर्स के लिए भी इम्पोर्टेंट है, और जो अदर कंपनीज हैं जिनका नाम जो है वो मिसयूज ना हो, उस सिचुएशन के लिए भी इम्पोर्टेंट है. तो दिनेश भाटिया, ओके विद इट?
यस मैम.
और कोई?
थैंक यू.
ये शुभम जायसवाल, व्हाट इज लिमिटेड लायबिलिटी? शुभम, ऑडियो ओपन करो शुभम।
यस मैम प्लीज।
हाँ, क्या समझ क्या नहीं आया
मैम? लिमिटेड लायबिलिटी पार्टनरशिप
शुभम को तो भाई।
यस मैम।
तुम्हें तो MCA तो मैंने बोला ही नहीं अभी तक। तो द रोल ऑफ MCA क्या मतलब क्या? MCA फुल फॉर्म ऑफ MCA
मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ कॉर्पोरेट अफेयर्स। मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ कॉर्पोरेट अफेयर्स मैम।
अच्छा, क्या तुमने, इफ यू हैव सम नॉलेज अबाउट इट प्लीज टेल अस।
मैम इस रजिस्ट्रेशन के लिए मैं पूछ रहा था, जैसे कि इस कंपनी के रजिस्ट्रेशन के लिए मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ कॉर्पोरेट अफेयर्स का रोल क्या होता है मैम?
आप बताओ, मुझे नहीं पता, आप बताओ। आपने MCA के बारे में पूछा है, आप बताओ।
मैम मुझे पता होता तो मैं पूछता है कि मैम।
अच्छा, कल क्लास में थे?
नो मैम, सॉरी कल क्लास में नहीं था।
हाँ, तभी नहीं पता। तो कल वाला एक बार लेक्चर पढ़ो, फिर उसके बाद डिस्कस करेंगे।
ओके मैम, थैंक यू।
ठीक है,
थैंक यू।
बट कंपनी के, वैसे सिर्फ एक चीज ही बताऊंगी कि कंपनी के रजिस्ट्रेशन में MCA का कोई रोल नहीं होता। ठीक है, कंपनी जो रजिस्टर करती है वो रजिस्ट्रार करता है।
ओके मैम, थैंक यू।
बाकी कल का पढ़ो।
ओके।
और आप भी का जो तुमने क्वेश्चन पुट किया है, व्हाट इज लिमिटेड लायबिलिटी पार्टनरशिप?
यस मैम।
ये तो आज के लेक्चर से रिलेटेड है ना?
ऑलमोस्ट मैम, क्योंकि आपने जो अभी बताया कि प्राइवेट लिमिटेड के बारे में और ये गवर्नमेंट के बारे में जो 7% और 1% का है, 2% का प्राइवेट का है, और मैम ये जो लिमिटेड लायबिलिटी पार्टनरशिप, इसमें गवर्नमेंट का भी कुछ रोल है क्या? शेयर्स वगैरह, या फिर हम
मेरी एक सबसे बात, तो मैं आपको एक बात बताऊं, मैंने अभी पूरे लेक्चर में पार्टनरशिप वर्ड यूज ही नहीं करा।
ओके मैम।
मुझे अप्रोक्सीमेटली 45 मिनट्स हो गए वर्ड्स बोलते हुए, ये पार्टनरशिप वर्ड मैंने बोला ही नहीं है। और आपको भी मैं सजेस्ट करूंगी कि जब आप कंपनी लॉ यूज कर रहे हो तो यू शुड नेवर यूज द वर्ड पार्टनरशिप। पार्टनरशिप इज समथिंग डिफरेंट। आई होप आप लोग सब एग्री करेंगे इस बात से। पार्टनरशिप का लिमिटेड और अनलिमिटेड से कोई लेना ही नहीं है। पार्टनरशिप की एक अलग डेफिनेशन है एंड द कंपनी इज समथिंग डिफरेंट। सो इट्स माय हम्बल रिक्वेस्ट टू यू शुभम जायसवाल कि नेवर रिपीट द पार्टनरशिप वर्ड इन द कंपनी एक्ट और इन द कंपनी लॉ। अगर आपने किसी भी तरीके से पार्टनरशिप वर्ड यूज कर लिया तो आप जो भी क्वेश्चन अटेम्प्ट करेंगे वो पूरा का पूरा गलत हो जाएगा। ठीक है?
ओके मैम।
हाँ, पार्टनरशिप के लिए एक पर्टिकुलरली पूरा एक फुल फ्लेज एक एक्ट बना हुआ है, पार्टनरशिप एक्ट 1936 आई थिंक, समथिंग लाइक दैट।
मैम अगर कंपनी के जो 2 डायरेक्टर्स हैं, अगर हेलो मैम, कोई प्राइवेट लिमिटेड कंपनी है, अगर उसमें 2 डायरेक्टर्स हैं तो उनकी कुछ पार्टनरशिप नहीं होगी उसमें? या शेयर्स जो 50-50%
भाई वो हम एक लेमैन लैंग्वेज को लेकर उनको दे हैव देयर शेयर्स, उनको हम एक लेमैन लैंग्वेज में आप जरूर उनको पार्टनरशिप हम बोल देते हैं, बट दिस इज नॉट द राइट टर्म फॉर द कंपनी। द कंपनी इज बिटवीन अ पार्टनर इज समथिंग एल्स एंड पार्टनरशिप इज समथिंग एल्स। मैंने कल भी बोला था कि नेवर यूज दिस इंग्लिश वर्ड्स कंफ्यूज विद द लीगल टर्म्स। द पर्सन वर्ड इज देयर, the person word is there in English, you can use that person for a particular individual, एक particular individual के लिए आप use करते हैं, but when you are talking in the CRPC or TPA, you use that person word is for a body. The accused should be present person in the court. It means the accused should be produced by the body in the court. So this is the layman person can use that the partnership between these 2 person in the company. Okay, they can be a partner, they having a share, they have a equal shares, we can say. They have an equal share in the company, but they don't have a partnership in the company. Partnership is something else and the company is something else. Okay?
Okay man, got it. Thank you ma'am.
Got it. अब ऑडियो ऑफ करो। ठीक है, बताऊंगी मैं, डिफरेंस भी बताऊंगी। कमिंग जो लेक्चर नेक्स्ट वीक तक मैं डिस्कस भी करूंगी, मोस्ट प्रोबेबली कल या परसों डिस्कस करूंगी कि द डिफरेंस इन पार्टनरशिप एंड द डिफरेंस बिटवीन पार्टनरशिप एंड द कंपनी और पार्टनरशिप में क्या डिफरेंस है, आई विल टेल यू. ठीक है, तो द थिंग इज दैट कि जो MOA है, इट शुड MOA जो है, इसके अंदर the name of the company should be mentioned, and the name of the company which is mentioned under the MO, it should not be identical with the other company which is already running, and the name should not be used against the violation of the central government. If central government has put any kind of restriction on particular name, that name should not be used by the company. So the thing is that if it is private limited or it is limited, that should be mentioned in the company also. And in the case of where the company is established for the purpose of charitable purpose, I have discussed also that the earlier concept is the company is only established for the purpose of the profit. Now the companies are also established for the purpose of promoting the art, culture and scientific activities, and it is also, companies are open for the purpose of charitable purpose. If any companies is open for the purpose of charitable purpose, in that situation there is no required to write a limited before a limited or unlimited after the name of the company. So this is, we can say, this is also a document. It is a document which we can say tells about the things, the activities which are going inside the company, which is very much we can say which very much broadly tell us that what the things are going in the company, what things will be going in the company, and what is the basic object for the, and what is the basic purpose for which this company is established. So the MOA, without the MOA no one can think about the establishment of the company. MOA एक ऐसी चीज है जिसके बिना जो है कोई सोच ही नहीं सकता कि वो एक कंपनी को जो है फॉर्मेट या एस्टैब्लिश कर सकता है. So for the incorporation, that should be MOA is very important for the incorporation of the company. And the important thing is that the question is raised कि somehow it affect the privacy of the company also. अगर कहीं ना कहीं अगर हम in negative way में देखें तो it will affect the privacy of the company also, because this particular document has described all the things: director's name, company's name, the object, the activities, the things which are going in the companies, all to be mentioned in this MOA, and this MOA is available to the public. The public at any time, by giving a nominal fee, they can look out this MOA. So somehow it affects the privacy of the company. But we always know the individual interest is always suppressed when it is a matter of large interest, when it is a matter of public interest. जहाँ पब्लिक इंटरेस्ट की बात आती है वहां पर कहीं ना कहीं इंडिविजुअल इंटरेस्ट को क्या कर दिया जाता है, सप्रेस कर दिया जाता है. सो इफ यू हैविंग सम इंडिविजुअल इंटरेस्ट, योर इंडिविजुअल इंटरेस्ट विल बी सप्रेस्ड एंड द पब्लिक इंटरेस्ट विल ऑलवेज प्रमोटेड. तो कहीं ना कहीं एमओए जो है, नो डाउट प्राइवेसी जो है कंपनी की उसको लीक जरूर कर रहा है, लेकिन जो ये पब्लिक एट लार्ज को कहीं ना कहीं पब्लिक इंटरेस्ट को कहीं ना कहीं एक बेनिफिट दे रहा है, क्योंकि ये शेयर होल्डर्स, दोज हु आर गोइंग टू बी इन्वेस्ट इन द कंपनी, दे कम टू नो दैट what would be the consequences if they put their money in particular company. So then there is a objective clause. Object clause are also under the MOA, and this object clause, they have discussed the object of the company, and it is very important, the object which is mentioned under the MOA, the company will never go beyond that. The company will never go beyond the object. And if the company
दिनेश, if it's a single person company, उस केस में अगर कंपनी if the director is doing an act outside the scope of the MOA, तो उसके अंदर में भी कंपनी लायबल नहीं होगी.
see we have to see the company liable in the say, no doubt कि अभी हम say कि company is a fictitious person, ठीक है, चला तो उसको डायरेक्टर ही रहे हैं. जो एक सच्चाई है कि लोग ही उसको कंपनी को चला रहे हैं ना, कंपनी तो नहीं चल रही है. एक तो कंपनी जस्ट एन एक बिल्डिंग है एक तो, लेकिन यहाँ पर लाइबिलिटी अगर बनती है तो वी हैव टू सी लाइबिलिटी ऑफ व्हाट काइंड. जो डायरेक्टर है उसकी पर्सनल लाइबिलिटी, और जो लाइबिलिटी कहाँ से वो पूरी करेगा. कंपनसेशन वी कैन क्लेम, कंपनसेशन हम क्लेम करेंगे उससे.
Yes,
तो क्या कंपनसेशन देने के लिए उसकी पर्सनल प्रॉपर्टी भी लाइबल होगी, या जो सिर्फ कंपनी की जो प्रॉपर्टी वो लाइबल होगी.
कंपनी की होगी.
अगर वो ऑन द एक्ट करता है, कोई भी एमओए के अगेंस्ट बाहर जाके काम करता है, तो उस सिचुएशन में कंपनी लाइबल नहीं है. दो ही इज अ डायरेक्टर, डायरेक्टर इन द वन पर्सन केस, बट हिज पर्सनल प्रॉपर्टी विल बी लाइबल. कंपनी की प्रॉपर्टी क्यों सफर करेगी? ठीक, अगर वो वन पर्सन इज अ डायरेक्टर, व्हाई आर यू थिंकिंग ऑफ जस्ट ओनली हिम? उन लोगों के बारे में कंपनी के अंदर पैसा लगा रखा है.
जी
Those who are the shareholders of that particular company, जिन्होंने उस कंपनी में पैसा लगाया है. अगर कंपनी उस लाइबिलिटी, कंपनी का पैसा जाता है तो कहीं ना कहीं शेयर होल्डर्स का पैसा जाता है.
जी
डायरेक्टर की जो गलती है उससे उसकी पर्सनल प्रॉपर्टी विल बी लायबल, द कंपनीज प्रॉपर्टी विल नॉट बी इफेक्टेड. उससे इफेक्ट नहीं होगी तो शेयर होल्डर्स का जो शेयर्स है वो भी इफेक्टेड नहीं होगा. ठीक है
जी मैम, थैंक यू.
ओके, और कोई कुछ कहना चाहता हो?
नो मैम.
बुरा ही बोल दो यार.
गुस्सा आ गई थी.
अच्छा, ऐड कर रही हूँ. हैव यू सीन?
यस मैम.
आप लोग देख रहे हो उसको? प्लीज रिस्पॉन्स करो कि आप लोग सम अप जो है टेक्स्ट मटेरियल जो है मैं आप लोगों के साथ शेयर करूंगी, तो इट विल बी मोर इजी फॉर यू पीपल ऑल्सो टू रीड आउट. और इफ यू वांट टू ऐड समथिंग मोर, or if you find something wrong or contradictory, you can raise a question in next lecture. Okay.